Welcome back to another video with Dragon. So we are doing a push day after we did arms the previous day. So because push fell on after the arm day, I really didn't need to do triceps. Previous video, I talked a lot about reading the body. Coming into this workout, I was actually feeling a lot better than the previous day in relation to hip hamstring sensitivity that I was experiencing from what I anticipate was, very slight flare up, I suppose would be the word. But I just spent the last 2 days icing and heating on and off. And then, like I said, at nighttime, recovery is the most important thing possible. So if you're having trouble sleeping, I do recommend using an anti-inflammatory to help get you to bed. We're looking for 8 hours of sleep, uninterrupted. And I think an anti-inflammatory will help you do those things. So nothing too crazy. Like I said, just one. Diclofenac usually gets the job done for me. First exercise that we're doing is a hammer strength incline press. So why am I doing this? Why am I doing a hammer strength incline press? I'm doing this because, as you guys can see, the back is very well supported. I simply need to move the weights onto the loading rack, and then I'm off to the races and pressing. So it's very easy to remain in a nice, straight posture. I'm just concentrating on driving my biceps into my chest to get a crazy chest squeeze. So you can see here I'm not rocking back and forth. I'm just pressing, squeeze, and I come back down. I press, I squeeze, and I come back down. And 2 plates has given me like a ton of stimulus. I think this workout, after it was all said and done, I tried to do 10 push-ups and I was completely fried. I think I got like 7 before my chest, shoulders gave out. And like I said, I didn't even touch triceps today. So triceps immediately tried to take over and I was doing the push-ups. But I usually, obviously, I'm talking through the exercises, but I haven't figured out a way to be able to speak through the microphone, the Bluetooth microphone, and I'll simultaneously listen to music. So it's been throwing me off a little bit. I don't want to hinder my own workouts. It's kind of like this is like me time. So, getting the music going, getting a great pump, that's what kind of centers me and gets me through the day, regardless of how hard, the external world can be. This is kind of like my happy place. So by eliminating the music, I kind of feel out of touch with the stimulus and the training. So I decided to go back into it. I thought I'd just voice it over. Second movement, excuse me, is a flat hammer strength. So this would kind of simulate you doing a barbell bench press. But as I was, saying from the other one, I'm trying my best here to use machines to get the stimulus that I'm looking for, without having to, manipulate a barbell or manipulate a free weight dumbbell. All of those things, I think, can disrupt the stability portion of the lift. And now it's like one wrong movement, one wrong turn could theoretically have an impact on my back. So I'm still being hypercritical and hypersensitive to the back situation, but at the same time, I still have a keen interest on building muscle tissue, even when the back is still in the rehab process. I still think you can put on muscle tissue and still be in the rehab process. So that's what we're trying to display here. A couple things that I'm working on specifically with this training session is trying to build up volume as I titrate calories up. So my eating is anywhere between, I would say, 4,500 calories to 5,000, depending on the day. That's what allows me to gain weight consistently, and my weight is definitely going up. We are almost back in the 240s. The highest we'll probably take this, with the back being where it's at, is probably 250, where I still feel pretty mobile. I don't feel like I'm carrying an extra crazy amount of muscle or fatty tissue as well. So I think 240 will be good. And if the back has another breakthrough, we're completely pain-free. 250 rather. If the back has another breakthrough, then I'm happy to push it up to 260, 270. Previous weights I have achieved before, and that's definitely when the muscle tissue starts really packing on. So sets, reps, I'm focusing on top sets. There are some situations today that warrant drop sets. If you're unfamiliar with that terminology, basically You'll do a set at your highest weight. You'll drop it shortly after that, the weight that is. So let's say I'm doing 2 plates and a quarter. I'll do that for as many reps as I can, and then I will take the quarter off, and then without much rest, you go back into the pressing. So in this situation, it was 2 plates, banged them out, and then I dropped to 45, and now my chest is pretty gassed. This is the second pressing movement of the day, and I'm just trying to drive as much blood into the chest as humanly possible. And I was definitely feeling after this second push. So as I said, you can definitely get crazy good stimulus and maintain the spinal health as I felt it today. Next movement is going to be kind of like an incline machine fly variation. In bodybuilding, for the most part, like a lot of upper chests are lacking, and that's what kind of gives you that shelf look. So a lot of our posing is kind of built around having a big upper chest, big shoulders, obviously big arms, all that fun stuff. And the way you build that is through really consistent and concise training movements. I see a lot of guys obviously obsessed with flat bench. But again, it's all, if you want to have a big bench, yeah, of course, do the movement. But if your goal is muscle tissue and not compromising potential injury, like, you really can't go wrong with machines. There's a reason that machines are so popular, and they've been invented because they're extremely safe. I'm not shitting on barbells or dumbbells for that matter, but like I said before, if it can shift you out of alignment, it could lead to an injury. A lot of guys are also prone to tearing pecs on barbell associated lifts, which I've been lucky to kind of stay away from for now, fingers crossed. And I just try to mostly, like I said, do machines. Machines are a way to stimulate the tissue and not compromise the safety aspect. They can be a little boring. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I think they can be a little bit boring, but as you can see in my movements, it won't be boring if you really, really focus on the stimulus, the form, and the eccentrics of the movement. So I'm not just falling with the weights. I'm getting just a good controlled eccentric as I am on the concentric. So very meticulous in how the exercises are being completed, which is then leading to an overwhelming stimulus. And the stimulus, if you're curious, like what are you trying to feel, is you want to feel a pump, you want to feel a little bit of soreness, but nothing outrageously sore. You just want to feel like your chest is going to explode. And that's how you know you're hitting the muscle tissue perfectly. So, did the top set, felt really good. I'm moving into a drop set now. Very short rest from 3 plates to 2. We'll take it for a spin here. And we'll just try to mimic the amount of reps that we got on the previous one. And then we'll go from there. As I said, 5 movements total today. That was an extreme amount of stimulus for me. I think if I didn't do arms the previous day, I would consider doing maybe 1 to 2 tricep movements. I've had a lot of success with doing 6 exercises per day, but obviously due to the injury, due to the ability to go to the gym with the hurricane and all that fun stuff, has kind of made this a little bit of a weird week, but we got the job done. Overhead press machines. Obviously this could be done with dumbbells as well. I just like the way this machine feels. It's a little short for my liking. That's why it kind of feels like I'm almost like hunched over a little bit to try to get my shoulders positioned to do the pressing. But overall, pretty good. There is a hammer strength movement that does this as well, but I think the angle that it puts you at, I want to say like 45 degrees, is a little bit too aggressive for my lower back. So if I'm sitting more upright, I actually feel like I'm not getting a lot of tension and pressure on the lower back. Everything is centrally located in the shoulders. So we're going to hit this for a few sets, and then we're going to finish with the same machine laterals. Just a machine heavy day in totality. By the end of doing the laterals, I can tell you, like, my shoulders were so pumped. It was hard to lift my arms. So I think what I'm going to do in the future is probably do like a little posing type situation afterwards in the gym locker room. If it, that's kind of touchy as well. It's like you don't want to bring cameras in the locker room once the dudes are getting in change. So I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen. It typically does happen, but you just got to be really careful. And it's obviously what you're putting on social media or YouTube is you don't want to be filming that kind of stuff in the locker room. So I do believe that there is a group fitness room. It's just the lighting is lackluster to say the least. Maybe I could pop in there and whatever muscle group I've worked on, I'll kind of maybe show you like a pre versus post look and how the muscle tissue looks when it's full of blood. But that is the workout for today. Push centric, and as always, mobility was taken care of before. Definitely some growth that's taking place in this month and then in the month that's coming up. So working on getting over that 240 threshold. So if you guys have comments, questions, I'm happy to answer them as always. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. Dragon House.